Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Depends on your time and your location. This is one of your own. Biafra TV, bringing you those things that you are confused about it and those that you think that at this stage that they are important into what we are doing, why those things are not important at all. That what is bothering the international community is not what is bothering you. And because of you see it as just an mere story, or you see it as just what you think, how you feel, and what you know, which is not the way that the world is seeing what we are doing. You know, our own reasoning always different from how others reason. And our own reason as a black man who was being trained or who was grow up in Nigeria and who still have the ideology of Nigeria into your upstairs, into your vein, into your blood, could not allow you to reason properly, could not allow you to reason the way that the world are reasoning. It could not allow you to think. It could not allow you to look at things and view things the way it is. Our own way in our life, we don't believe in legal. We don't believe in law. We believe on what we know, how we feel, what we think. This is how it's supposed to be. But that is what you are still thinking, and that is why you left your country. Those you who believe in Nigeria. That is why you left the Odisha region. And after you left, you never thought of making a change in your life. To ask yourself, these people, I am here in their very fine country, where I have security, where I have insurance of my life, where there is 24 hours light, where there is good road, where there is good hospital, where there is a good market, where there is a good food, where everything is very soft. How do they get here? And have you ever in your entire life such a history of country where you are, how they become a country and how they get to where they are today? When you begin to think like that, you will find out the legal aspect of life. You will find out what the life owed for you. You will find out that why you are backward and why you are doing one thing, you are expecting another different result. Well, going through our program this evening, if you may look at the headline today on our program, that headline, I want it to take your mind. Ekwem, I see you. Good evening from here. I asked about you yesterday. I said I did not see you. I hope you are good. And the victory. I see Victoria. I see you. Thanks so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you. So when you look at things, our problem right now is we believe that internal matter or division can stop USB re-declared. Is our problem. And that is what many of us are thinking so much at this stage. Many bother, like when they say, oh, Mazan cannot bring 100 men. The 100 men is for peace. The other one, Ibro, in our own adage, and as sena dia didn't go su. No name, I horomo, my wo he, she, kacho, the handshake. More hope to make up the hadema. Few people make up the dema. That is a pure truth that I want you to understand this evening. as we are pushing towards today's program. Our problem at this stage is that internal matter, IPOB, MASOB, DOS, Dinkiniko, and all those things that we are thinking. The question is, can those things stop USB re-declared having our official international recognition like every other country? That is why I told you that whatever we are doing today, people have done it in the past. We are not the first people, neither are we going to be the last. Whatever we are doing today is standing on the existing protocol of others that have gone through this process and how they was be able to achieve their own country. This is what we are doing today. We are not the first people that have internal division. We are not the first people that after a peaceful declaration, their people turn against it. What should be bothering you is this. If the international global community decide to organize the new country, on what criteria, in what law, and in what legal aspect can the world use to recognize a new declared or re-declared country as a full country? How are they doing it? How can they be able to recognize USB to be what is bothering you? That is why I don't give a dime to any saboteur. I don't care about whatever they're saying. Because I have found out that many countries pass through that. But that never stopped them from getting recognition. Because the way of someone like Iken Guruago is not the one giving recognition. The way of fallback bridge is not the one giving recognition. The criteria. The criteria for giving recognition is not coming from any IPOB member. It's not coming from any one Nigeria list. It's not one Nigeria list should be the last country that the world will order by force to recognize us. Do not expect that they will just recognize us. Do not think that Aradi Orama, name all these people that are accusing against USB with authentic declaration documents. The problem is that you don't know what we have. USB is a nation that has entered in the map. What is in the map is not just Biafra. No. What they put there on that top of that map is if you follow that arrow, what you will see is United States of Biafra. I said what? What is in that map is the way that arrow is pointing. If you go to that, what you will see from that red, that like this is the way it is. It is like this, the arrow up. That arrow is pointing on USB, United States of Biafra, is where that arrow is pointing. It's all this noise of all these people. Their noise can never stop. The 100 men has nothing to do with Biafra recognition as a country. The 20,000 men has nothing to do with Biafra recognition. Rather, it can just a little bit delay, like the way it's delaying right now. Remember, destiny can be delayed, but it can never be denied. Is it not true? My brother Ekene, your comments yesterday lead me to do research precisely. My brother Ekene, your comments yesterday lead me to go and research. And I found out no country in this world, among those research coming from Africa or some areas in Europe, has proved that you cannot declare a country without people fighting against it. Yeah, sorry. They want me to stop the exposition, and that exposition has begun to bring threats to me. But it doesn't matter because they cannot stop us. I do program based on what is bothering Biafran people, like my brother Ekene. Something is bothering him. So about the 100 men. The 100 men of the claim is going from Mazinande Kano. is not the one that is holding Biafra. Remark my word. The 100 men is not the one holding organization. Who is holding organization is you, who believe in USB, who refuse to accept USB ID card. You are the one delaying the organization. You are the one. Ogonaya, good evening from here. Thank you so much. Aloy, Chike, good evening from here. You're welcome. These those are not decided on this platform today. I see you all. As we are joined, please, I want to hit the like button very fast, speedily, so others will join us as we move. As we move. The 100 men is a stomach infrastructure. The 100 men is like IPOB organization. And that is where they're coming from. Do you think, my brother Kenneth, that these 100 men just fall from heaven? Who are they? And where have they been up to today? They are coming as 100 men. I want you to know when they want to delay and deceive you. My brother Kenneth, in our own special adage, ndeba is no Igbo. Na adi adị n'Igbo agụ osu, ọ bụrụ eziokwu. And na ọ na-eme abịagụrụ ụmụ egbuo ohi ka achịkwa obodo as na onye ọbụla. And adị n'Igbo make obodo adị mma. The answer is no. Is few individuals are making a community or a state to be a better state, a better community. Not by everybody. So that is what is happening here. But our own is that you on the side of USB, but you don't understand what you have. A peaceful re-declaration document is supersede 120,000 men. That is the key. That is the main thing that we need to have. That is all we need at this stage that we are into. The document. They call it what? They said it's law, it's legal. In the criteria of Biafra to become a sovereign nation, you that believe in USB and you refuse to accept your ID card, you are the one delaying recognition, not Kengo Chibuze Egwatu, Kengo Ruago, not Udele, not the Oram, not Sana Akwarawa. He has nothing to contribute in Biafra recognition because it is a pure politics. The politics has branches. The branches is that you should first acknowledge yourself, recognize yourself as a citizen of United States of Biafra, number one. Number two, you should quickly hurry, get USB ID card. Number two. Number three, you should support our fundraising. You must support our fundraising. Then number four, you should have patience and faith in USB we are declared. When you endorse these three things, and also you must love a message more than messenger. These are 5 things that is holding recognition. You as to have your own country. Do you understand? This is what is holding us, not the 100 men, not any other thing at all. All those 100 men are distraction. All those 100 men need money to reach themselves. Because where you work is where you eat. That is IPOB ideology. That is how IPOB is. And that is how these men are. This man who is going to make this peace, or when the buys na onya no eba no bozu eba no liezi no nes no kwa abia. That is what our people said. And that is what is happening. And you want to be confused and be deceived. Are we the first people in Africa that use the government to pursue recognition? The answer is no. And can you have a Biafra without having an internal division? The answer is no. But what it should be, among all these, who are the authentic, original one that the world see as the one which is legal? Is the one with the original document of the declaration. The document is what we need at this stage. So I want you to understand quickly that no amount of internal division will stop USB, and you will never have Biafra without internal division. Finland, that is holding up a Tobie, has internal division. America has internal division. Do you know that after the declaration of America, from the signature of the 56 continental congressmen, that 500 and went ahead to sign in a document that they don't want America as a country? The question should be, when Morocco decided to recognize America, because of the 500 sign that they don't want America as a country, does it stop America to be a country you are hearing today? When France decided to support America, recognize them, the signature that is not legal, that it is illegal, of the 500 and something who signed, that the number, even the Anglican bishop, even Massachusetts, even where is this place that I don't know who is today? That state refused that America should not be a country. The question you may ask yourself, did all these things stop America not to be a country today? Is it not on that mandate of the 56 intercontinental congressmen, which in our own time, we have 500 intercontinental congressmen that travel to Finland and sign that our condom of our country is United States of Biafra? That is the one that leads America to become a country today. That is what's going to lead us this time. And our own is very effective because of what? The world has agreed that the only way is by through peaceful declaration document. Is the only way to become a country today, not by armed struggle anymore. We are not the first people. We're not going to be the last. And if you are in my WhatsApp group, if you are in the homeland, you want to send your funds direct, you will go to our WhatsApp group after this program. You will see how you from the homeland, the accounts where you can send your money. You can send anybody receipts to announce for you on the fundraising. So as we are moving, I am going to go straight to the program, and I will play the audio from here. I want to tell you one thing. Some people want to use the logo they are seeing on the screen to attack my app. A lot of, if you see the battling this time around, the level of battling I am seeing, I never seen it before. So I will be playing it audio. Then I will be sending the message, the research on WhatsApp group, just on a normal plain message. Because if I'm playing it here, it shows the logo of that app. So people are trying to hijack it. People are trying to destroy that app. And from instructions, they said that they are receiving more attack from me, that I should stop playing the logo out and keep it to myself. So now, henceforth, I'll be playing the audio for you. Then when finally get what I want, which will play on the screen on the wall, will not carry the logo. There's how that one hide the logo until then. Because this app is more important than food and the honey for me. And let me tell you, the division and what is going on is what will give you strength to stand where you are. Without division, without propaganda, without all these lies, USB might not be pushing hard to where we are today. A division and the saboteurs strengthen you to be on your 10 toes to fight and defend what you believe on. So for me, I always welcome division. I always welcome those who is getting me. I always welcome those that are against me. They are making me to prepare myself ahead of the task and be strong and the strongest to push on. So I want to bury issue of 100 men or no 100. The 100 men are scammers. They are criminals. They don't have a job. They are looking for who to devour, where to eat their own money. The 100 men, I am against them because they want to delay our people. They want to deceive our people. The 100 men is 100 criminals, is 100 problems. If IPOB can fail Mazen and they can, what do you think? Who are those people? I don't know, they're not living in Nigeria. Are they not among those that Nigeria government target terrorists? IPOB organization is a terrorist group. But I, as a citizen of United States of Biafra, is not a terrorist. And nobody can tag a country terrorist like USB we are declared, because we are not like Nigeria, who breed terrorists and criminals. So, as we are moving, please, I urge you to do me one thing. If you never like the program, please rush and hit the like button speedily so more people will join us as we are moving, please. If you never like the program, I want to like the program, share the program and put your comment. Do not comment the same thing. Keep different comments, because when you're commenting the same thing, the YouTube will be weighing it down. I urge you to please like and share the program, please. And I want somebody quickly to place our headline on this program, please, on the comment section. I want to know those who are very smart at this time. I want you to place our headline on the comment section, please. But that headline will draw your attention quickly to what we're about to do right now. So I urge you to do what? Quickly check the headline back. I want to know who will get it. The headline is Peaceful Declaration with a Legal Document. No amount of internal division can stop international recognition. No amount of internal division, internal matter. That is what they said, that we focus on our internal matter instead of focusing on the out there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. Mighty, thank you. There is no how our internal matter. And that is why the world are looking at USB, they are declared. If USB will focus on internal matter. And what do you see? USB never focus on what? On internal matter. They focus on what is out there on the international community. That is why they are sending documents. That is why they have sent over 150 something USB declared documents. And what we are bringing to the world can never reject it because it is legal. But sometimes it can be delayed. And I told you that delay is not denial. Destiny can be delayed, but it can never be denied. Or die. Because don't be in a hurry of anything. But what we are passing through today, has it happened anywhere in the world? Is the first question you will ask. Remember that somebody should put the headline on the comment section. Like I said, under my research, my question was, I want some government in exile that after peaceful declaration, that's having many internal problems from their own people did not stop international recognition for the exile government that make a peaceful real declaration. I hope you get it. My question under my research is, I want to know some government in exile that after peaceful declaration that have many internal problems, division from their own people that never stop international recognition from the Israel government that made a peaceful declaration. This is my research. Now, listen to the answer. I said what? Listen to the answer fully so you may understand why you don't have to panic about any group, any individual. Listen to this. Here we'll start and we'll go down. We'll have two sections. We are going to read very fast to put link for you to join to clarify your mind this evening.
Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic feat. History shows that internal problems, such as leadership disputes, lack of physical control, or public dissatisfaction, do not always stop the international community from granting or maintaining recognition, especially if the cause is seen as legally or morally just. Here are a few notable examples of governments in exile, or organizations acting as such, that faced internal turmoil but still secured or held on to international recognition. 1. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic.
Let's say in Africa.
The context. After Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the Polisario Front declared the SADR. Since 1976, it has operated largely as a government in exile based in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The internal problems, territorial control. It only controls about 20% of the land it claims. The rest is under Moroccan administration. Governance hurdles. Living in refugee camps for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. International recognition. Despite having no capital city on its own soil, the SADR is a full member of the African Union (AU) and is recognized by over 40 countries. Its status as a, quote, state in waiting remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. 2. The State of Palestine, PLO, Palestinian Authority. The context. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, acted as a government in exile for decades before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, Algiers Declaration. The internal problems, fractured leadership. Deep divisions exist between factions, notably Fatah and Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the West Bank and Gaza. Administrative crisis. Accusations of corruption and the lack of national elections have led to domestic protests and dissatisfaction. International recognition. These internal splits have not stopped the United Nations from granting it non-member observer state status in 2012. Today, over 130 UN member states recognize the state of Palestine, proving that internal administrative defects do not necessarily negate legal standing. 3. The CNRT, East Timor in exile. The context. During the 24-year Indonesian occupation of East Timor, 1975 to 1999, the resistance operated largely through a government in exile structure under the CNRT, National Council of Timorese Resistance. The internal problems, ideological clashes. The movement was originally split between different political parties, Fretil and UDT, which had even fought a brief civil war in 1975. Communication gaps. Leaders were scattered between the mountains of Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. International recognition. Despite these divisions, the international community, led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN, recognized the right of the exiled leadership to represent the people. This eventually led to a UN-sponsored referendum and full independence in 2002. Why does recognition continue despite internal problems? International bodies often prioritize legal legitimacy over operational perfection. If a government in exile meets specific criteria, the world may ignore internal chaos. 1. The illegal occupation principle. If the territory was taken by force, the international community often maintains recognition of the exiled government to avoid rewarding the aggressor. 2. Representative status. As long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and authentic representative, the UN and other bodies may overlook internal disputes. 3. Diplomatic persistence. Issuing passports, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forums, even without a territory, creates a legal reality that is hard to ignore. Key takeaway. Internal defects usually affect a government's efficiency, but its recognition is determined by international law, treaty compliance, and the diplomatic support of powerful allies. Are you looking for how a specific organization can manage its image to ensure recognition remains stable even when things are difficult at home?
I hope with what we are hearing at this first reading, your mind will be settled. And if you are there, you are talking against USB re-declare documents. You are making mockery of yourself, and you are doing yourself more harm than good. Said what? You are doing yourself more harm than good. It is very impressive that you listen to this program. That is the program we have this night. They give us 3 examples of 3 countries that existing today. That the internal matter, that no group formed by anybody stop the recognition to the official declaration document of the new country or the old or declared. It is a high time. That is why I wish we have the time. You could have by now. You could have understand more. But we are pushing it gradually, one step at a time. Chris Biafran son, thank you so much for putting the headline the way it is. Peaceful declaration, a legal document. No amount of internal division can stop international recognition. You had it here. It's from this reading, after researching it and read it out, I pick up my headline. No amount of group, no amount of division will stop USB declared from having official international recognition. One, that you must present yourself as a country, as a state. So you can be, other states can be able to talk to you as a state. You can't be organization or a group and you want a state to come and recognize you. No, you must prove the transition of being a government in exile, a country that is living in exile. We are not the first, we are not the one, IPOB, Umokoko, the IPOBs. Okay, fine, no insult. Look at how many years that East Timor was in exile. Look at how many years. Look at how many years Palestine was also in exile. Now look at also how SADR, the Sahara Arab Democratic Republic in Africa, look at how they are in exile with their government. The internal division never stopped them to be recognized by the member of the UN or the EU or AU. You see, that is why I told you that preaching one Isiocha cannot give me Biafra. If anybody who want to deviate, no amount of what you preach about her can make those who follow her to turn back. So why am I playing her? Why am I having my time for her? Her propaganda, her lies, the world will know that after a peaceful declaration, that such people will emerge. And they are the disturbing internal matter that can only make noise without having a vital point. I urge you, please, to like and share if you never do so. It's very, very imperative because that is how others we got the message. And I greet you, the priest, Biafran son, for that wonderful headline you put out there. Thank you so much for doing that. May Elohim bless you, protect you, and guide you. And I didn't manage and means I am following the program. Thank you. We'll play it for a second time before going to our analysis quickly. Let's play it for a second time.
Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic feat. History shows that internal problems, such as leadership disputes, lack of physical control, or public dissatisfaction, do not always stop the international community from granting or maintaining recognition, especially if the cause is seen as legally or morally just. Here are a few notable examples of governments in exile, or organizations acting as such, that faced internal turmoil but still secured or held on to international recognition. 1. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR. The context. After Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the Polisario Front declared the SADR. Since 1976, it has operated largely as a government in exile based in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The internal problems, territorial control. It only controls about 20% of the land it claims. The rest is under Moroccan administration. Governance hurdles. Living in refugee camps for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. International recognition. Despite having no capital city on its own soil, the SADR is a full member of the African Union (AU) and is recognized by over 40 countries. Its status as a, quote, state in waiting remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. 2. The State of Palestine, PLO Palestinian Authority. The context. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, acted as a government in exile for decades before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, Algiers Declaration. The internal problems, fractured leadership. Deep divisions exist between factions, notably Fatah and Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the West Bank and Gaza. Administrative crisis. Accusations of corruption and the lack of national elections have led to domestic protests and dissatisfaction. International recognition. These internal splits have not stopped the United Nations from granting it non-member observer state status in 2012. Today, over 130 UN member states recognize the State of Palestine, proving that internal administrative defects do not necessarily negate legal standing. 3. The CNRT, East Timor in exile. The context. During the 24-year Indonesian occupation of East Timor, 1975 to 1999, the resistance operated largely through a government-in-exile structure under the CNRT, National Council of Timorese Resistance. The internal problems, ideological clashes. The movement was originally split between different political parties, Fretilin UDT, which had even fought a brief civil war in 1975. Communication gaps. Leaders were scattered between the mountains of Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. International recognition. Despite these divisions, the international community, led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN, recognized the right of the exiled leadership to represent the people. This eventually led to a UN-sponsored referendum and full independence in 2002. Why does recognition continue despite internal problems? International bodies often prioritize legal legitimacy over operational perfection. If a government in exile meets specific criteria, the world may ignore internal chaos. 1. The illegal occupation principle. If the territory was taken by force, the international community often maintains recognition of the exiled government to avoid rewarding the aggressor. 2. Representative status. As long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and authentic representative, the UN and other bodies may overlook internal disputes. 3. Diplomatic persistence. Issuing passports, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forums, even without a territory, creates a legal reality that is hard to ignore. Key takeaway. Internal defects usually affect a government's efficiency, but its recognition is determined by international law, treaty compliance, and the diplomatic support of powerful allies. Are you looking for how a specific organization can manage its image to ensure recognition remains stable even when things are difficult at home?
I will also say anytime for those who watch us later, please, I want you to like and share the program, please. I want you to like and share the program. Because why do I say so? If I able to understand it and see what we need at this stage that we are into, what we need is what we have to do. And what we have to do is not what the way we see it. But I have told you this what I countless time here, that after this our peaceful declaration, anything within internal cannot stop me, cannot stop USB we are declared from having international recognition, from having our official international recognition. What will stop us is we on our own, is the one stopping it today. How? By you refusing to accept USB their declared ID card. That is how you are stopping it. Well, let us continue on the program. Now we play, we pause it, and we analyze it.
Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic feat. History.
Do you hear it? It's a hard job, really. But somebody must do it. And you can see the structure of how USB is doing it, and they are winning, they are getting it. Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic fact. History shows that internal problems such as leadership disputes, lack of fiscal control, or public disfactions do not always stop the international community from granting or maintaining recognition. All these IPOB, MASOB, fall back, fall in, this and that, they do not. Do you know why? You see this word we are hearing here, a peaceful declaration or a peaceful declaration. They call it what? Decoration. But I call it declaration in our own, so you can understand it clearly. On this particular aspect, any group that are claiming that they are fighting for Biafra at this stage where we are into, without this declaration, one is the declaration and the declaration document with a signature and the date that it happens with the evidence of the video. Those people does not exist in the eyes of the international community. They see them as those who are just constitutionalism, and they also know that after a peaceful declaration, there must be a saboteur, there must be a betrayer, there must be eviction, there must be all these things that we are seeing today. And they are telling you that at always that they can never stop USB recognition. Let me put it in that way direct. Do not always stop. You know what they said? Do not, didn't say somehow. They said, do not always stop the international community to grant a new state their recognition once they have in mind that this new state deserves to be recognized by them. That is why it is a pure politics. Especially if the case is seen as the legal or moral just. You see, ours is not legal. It is legal through a peaceful declaration. It's not just a moral, it is everything about legitimacy. It's everything about legal. It's everything about authority. It's everything how the USB is handling our internal affairs. Overlook it and face external. External is what is giving us recognition, not internal.
Shows that internal problems, such as leadership disputes, lack of physical control, or public dissatisfaction, do not always.
Do you hear that word? I forgot it. Lack of fiscal control. For those, you declared Biafra, you declare your sovereignty, but you are in exile. You don't control 1% of your territory. Here they said, even though lack of fiscal control of the territory, it doesn't stop recognition. It doesn't stop recognition. When is the due time for that to come? It must surely come. Have patience and relax on USB they are declared. Put your trust, put your hope, stand strong, stay one place, stop moving around that has happened upon mind.
The international community from granting or maintaining recognition, especially if the cause is seen as legally or morally just. Here are a few notable examples of governments in exile, or organizations acting as such, that faced internal turmoil but still secured or held on to international recognition.
Are you hearing it? Here is few notable examples of government in exile, organization acting as such that face internal turmoil but still secure or held onto international recognition. My brother Keneze, can you see there is no way we will have Biafra without this we're seeing today? For those that come together, we will unite until you are a big fool, a big moron. Because we are not the first, we're not the last. It has happened somewhere before. And it just starts happening to our own time. I will draw your mind to something if I continue. You see, the exposition I made 2 days ago that has bring many threats to me. Biafrans refuse to like that program, even share it. Since that yesterday and before yesterday, those programs still remain 76, 81. Even that in my own WhatsApp group, I have over 135 or 36 people. When 35 like and share the program, 135 or 35, you are bringing more people to come in. But you refuse because the program, I am not preaching one Isiocha in France. I am not preaching the gangsters. I am not preaching all those. That is why you don't like the program. You don't want to share. But I think those who like and share, up to 70-something people. That's what my country was saying. And the buy and like can you hear that this internal matter cannot stop us? That the world know how to handle it. The world know how to handle it. But to thank God this IPOB and myself, when are you going to put a document of peaceful declaration? Can't you say that before you will reign to go government in exile of your own or do peaceful declaration, USB has already get recognition. The way the US has pushed right now that the map of Biafra has included in the map of the world. This is how you know that Biafra has become a country. Like it or you leave it, you will still that place where you argue, and tomorrow you see recognition. Continue your argument. Like Obatobi told you that you will be sleeping in Nigeria before Biafra will be declared. It's not happening, it happens, and you are still making fool of yourself. Now let us see some countries that use government in exile achieve recognition despite the internal matter. Listen.
1. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR. The context.
Are you hearing it? This is a country in Africa. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR, in Africa here. What happened? Let's hear the context fully. Listen.
After Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the Polisario Front declared the SADR. Since 1976, it has operated largely as a government in exile, based in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The internal problems, territorial control. It only controls about 20% of the land it claims. The rest is under Moroccan administration. Governance hurdles. Living in refugee camps for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic...
They live in exile nearly 50 years. Has USB declared live in exile for 5 years? But they live in exile for what? Nearly what? 50 years. They are in exile. Over how many decades upon decades they're still in exile? Look at it here. The context after Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the front declared the SADA. Since 1976, it has opened a legal and as government in exile based in refugee camp in Todufu, Algeria. You see, the government in exile of SADR was in where? In Algeria. That is where they have the government in exile. That is where they handle their problems. Are you hearing it? Now, the internal problem, which is what they're facing today, and they told you, we are bringing 100 men to make peace. The 100 men are bringing more riot and more confusion to you. If you listen to that garbage. We have crossed through Vicom. We have crossed through Beacon. We have crossed that level. Where 100 men can work is only between IPOB organization putting themselves, not under USV they are declared, because any of them are remain under USV they are declared. Now, the other headline in brackets. The internal problem, transitional control. If it is only control about 20% of their land, it is claimed the rest is under Morocco administration. Are you hearing it? that the moreover of their territory are in the hands of what? In the hands of Morocco. Because this Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, today they are playing African Nations Cup, are trying to prepare for World Cup. They are the fact who leave them? Spain disappeared. Now, the rest is under Morocco administration. The rest of their land is under Morocco administration. But they do time, they must leave it. I hope you are following. Now, Governance and Hedo, living in refugee camp for nearly 50 years, has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. People has been in exile for 50 years. And that's exile there in 50 years. There is internal problem. Can't you hear that the internal problem of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR in Africa, that despite that they are in exile for 50 years, they're in Algeria, that he never stopped them from having recognition? What are you thinking about that? What are you thinking about it? Living in the refugee camp for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. It's well understand that what we are passing through, the people has gone through that for 50 good years. Do you think that people did not decamp from them? People walked away, but what happened? And when the UN started to recognize and recognition was coming, they give it to them direct. International recognition. They don't have no capital city on their own soil. The SADR is fully member of the African Union, AU, and is organized by over 40 countries. It is a state, as a state in the waiting, remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. I hope you are following. This is how it happens. Now, this is time they have recognition, and there is a problem. There is internal. Those that make the declaration of this country, SADR, what happened? They championed their declaration document and make the exit from what we take of their life. When you had it here that SADR is fully member of the African Union. Now, are they fully member under the EU? The answer is no, but they are doing what they can do. They are doing what? Doing what they can do. They also said that this government in exile lack control of fiscal control of his territory. It doesn't want recognition. Hey, come and control your land 30% before you were deceiving yourself. It doesn't happen anywhere at all. Look at the SADR. It doesn't happen. They did not control their own border. Now, number 2. The State of Palestine, PLO, Palestine Authority, when they form, they have the authority also, and they want to do their thing. Now, what happened? The contest, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, act as a government in exile for the decide before for the declared before the 1888 declaration of the independence. Independence of Algeria declaration. There is something that you must understand. Palestine gone through this process that you're going today. Why is it that this truth cannot be preached the way it's supposed to be? Why is it that people run away from the truth? Why? That is why I want to understand it clearly. that you have only one way. What is that one way we have? Is through USB we are declared like every other person. When remember that in all these documents, in all this research, if it's one, you will hear declaration document, declaration document, declaration document. Everywhere the declaration could sing in the head, in the mindset of all the IPOB members that USB has beat your hands down. There is no other way to do that. There's no other way at all. That is why it's very imperative that you listen to the appropriate authorities and do whatever the US ask you to do for us to go home. Like I said, it's not about what you think, how you feel. It is about the reality. It is about what? The reality. And the reality is why we are here. I want to understand that there is no two ways out into what we are doing. The only way out we have is, again, peaceful declaration with a legal document. No amount of international division can stop international recognition. That is the headline. It be sinking deep into your head as we proceed. Now, listen to this.
Make pressure on the population. International recognition. Despite having no capital city on its own soil, the SADR is a full member of the African Union, AU, and is recognized by over 40 countries. Its status as a state in waiting remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. 2. The State of Palestine, PLO, Palestinian Authority. The context: the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, acted as a government in exile for decades before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, Algiers Declaration. The internal problems: fractured leadership. Deep divisions exist between factions, notably Fatah and Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the West Bank and Gaza. Administrative crisis. Accusations of corruption and the lack of national elections have led to domestic protests and dissatisfaction. International recognition. These internal splits have not stopped the United Nations from granting it non-member observer state status in 2012. Today, over 130 UN member states recognize the State of Palestine, proving that internal administrative defects do not necessarily negate legal standing. 3. The CNRT, East Timor.
Hold it here. I hope you are listening to Palestine. Or I hope you're listening to their history of their government in exile. That's why I told you our own cannot be different, and the world will know so this time around and change the question of government in exile or the criteria. The criteria remains the criteria. No matter what anybody is doing. No matter what anybody is doing. There is none of any of these betrayers and saboteurs. You heard it about the Palestine. What leads to Hamas and Gaza? That those things never stop recognition when it's due time to come. When it is what? They do time to come, everything will happen, and you will be confused how it happens. And it's already happening here. The Palestinian Liberation Organization, APL, act as a government in exile for declared before. You see, they acted as a government in exile and formed their own. The internal problem for total leadership, when a peaceful real declaration has made, what do we see? We see that the heaven has loosed, and all the enemies have come south to fight against USB they are declared. When you are fighting USB they are declared without authentic government, what are you trying to do? What is that? Good, I see you. You're welcome. Good evening from here. I want all of us to understand it clearly. That despite the function, despite the division, despite the crisis that faces SADR, despite the crisis that faces on Palestine, that it never stopped for them to have the authentic recognition. So far, they are the one with the government that make a peaceful declaration. The world has been doing that in the past. And thought of now, it is well approved that this is the only way to have your new country. We will not achieve that without different groups. Those groups will ginger you to do more. Those groups will make you to continue pushing. Those groups will make you to know that if you don't do it well, they will criticize you. They will take it away from you. Then we continue doing it right on the legal aspect of it. It is very, very imperative at this time that we are into. It's very, very imperative. What you see on the screen is our headline: peaceful declaration with a legal document. No amount of international division can stop in international recognition. There is more to what we are doing. And there is a government-in-exile. It is well planned and staged at this time we're into. Now, if the Palestinians can be able to survive, how do you think we're not going to survive? The internal problems of the Palestinians, administrative criers, and sanctions of the occupation and the lack of the national election had led to domestic protests and the disinformation. When people have disinformation, what happened? They start doing things where they're not supposed to be doing things. But when you pay attention to the core history of those who have undergone this process and those who have become country through this, then you will see what USB is doing, that they are on the right track. There is no amount of division. The 100 men is useless. They do nothing because they have come to make their own money. Send this message to them that they should go and sleep. The Biafra will has come, and no amount of group or individual can stop it. Nothing can stop it. Because it is the right of the people to do what they are doing, but it must be under the law. It must be. International recognition, this internal split has not stopped the United Nations from getting its non-member observer states in 2012, today over 130 UN member states organize the state of Palestine, proving that internal administrative differences do not necessarily negotiate, because it is about the legal standing. It's about what? The document of USU that declared it is the legal standing. Do not mind anybody. Do not. It is a high time that you know that that place you are is not where it's supposed to be. It is very imperative also to understand that this is a government in exile also that they use. Let us focus on issue of our patience, on issue of our Biafra as a patience. We must treat Biafra as a patience very nicely. That is why. How can we do that to prove that? By you, I will keep repeating you. By you, accept USB ID card. By you, funding. By you, loving the message more than the messenger. Today, we are mentioning countries today that are existing countries, but they have what? Internal divisions, and that never stop them from being a country. The internal problem never stop them to become a country in the eyes of the international global community and those who are giving it. That's why I told you that the law or the criteria of recognition is not given by Radio Rama, it's not given by Chiamaka Ajere, it's not given by anybody. It is only given by those who are states in the government-in-exile of the world. And people have gone through that. You have seen about Palestine that they were in exile for some decade before they can be able to make a peaceful declaration. And what happens? They said what? Before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, they declared in in 1988, declaration. When are you going to make the declaration that the world are looking for? Before you will start, use the recognition, because we have done the necessary thing. The most important necessary things to do is for you to do a peaceful declaration first. Look at it. SADA in South Africa, in Africa, the what? The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR, make a declaration in which they make the people declaration in exile in 1976 precisely. /1970, they make /1977, they make a peaceful declaration. When are you going to do your own? After those who know the road to do it has done it, what you can do is to criticize, to make it like we are having division. Yes, the word will say that after a peaceful declaration, that the division will come. But when division comes, it becomes an internal matter. How the government abandon internal matter and focus on external is how they prove that they can govern their people. They can prove that they can govern their people. It's not like what you think. It's not like how you feel. It's not like what you know. It's not about who you are. It's not about I am here for whoever I'm needed. He just come. He's not a member. He's not oath. Oath member is not giving Biafra as a country. Being IPOB oath taker can never bring Biafra as a country. There is a criteria. There is a procedure. There is a template. You don't know nothing about it. The only thing you can do is to come on the street and dance. That's all you can do. And people has swallowed their pride and they work with their people, but you refused. International recognition. This internal split have not stopped the United Nations from granting its non-member state observers state status in 2012. Are you hearing it? They are not a member. The Palestine. But what happened? The internal matter did not stop UN from accepting them. The internal matter never stopped. So we cannot achieve Biafra without division. Stop being emotion. Nobody. We can never use emotion to achieve Biafra. We can never use it's my mind, I like him, to achieve Biafra as a country. There is no amount of internal division that will suppress USB and their documents. Take it or you leave it. They say that because of the signature of those who made a peaceful declaration signed with over 500, it has now become a legal document that controls the movement that we are into. That's why I do that. The message has its own rule, its own protocol, its own observation, its own yardstick, not by you. Not by you. So continue your division. I never ask you to come together. Continue. But as you are continuing the division, ask yourself, do I have a peaceful declaration document, the original one? Do I have it? If you don't have it, you are constituting nuisance. And you a betrayer of your own people. You are those that they will say, go and submit yourself to your government. The only one government we have out of the 75% government is USB declared. What you will see there is what? United States of Biafra, USB in bracket. No other one. No other one. There is no other one. Open up USB, they are declared everywhere. It's a 4-9 to you. And now I have given you two countries already. That's where their country. Their internal matter never stopped them to get recognition. But our own, we champion internal matter. It matters. You are also that are championing everything about you is about internal matter. You are also led this movement. The stage has gone beyond what we think. The stage has gone for those people to stop what we are doing. Now, we are going on the third country that have internal problem. that after their declaration, the people kick against it. But are there a country today under that peaceful declaration or declaration, their country today? Let us find out. Let us find out. Please hit the like button as you join. What is important, if the message is good, is when you enter, you like the program. If you are not liking the program, you are making it to go down. The message, maybe the message is not really good, but you just say it for me to continue talking. Look at what gives us the right. And look at what is the legal document. See it here from Mommy Margaret. He said, 29th of November 2024, Biafra was re-declared in Lati, Finland by the Congo Arabese, DPM, and that stands forever. He said. Yes, so there's no other one. That is the legal document that we are talking about. Do you have it? Did you make a peaceful declaration? In what you use to fight, claiming that you're working for Biafra to become a country, do you have a what? Do you have declaration document in the name of what you have there, claiming you are fighting for Biafra? You are sending to UN, you are sending to EU. It's because of you they tag Nigeria and sign. It's because of you we are the one that piloted and make it happen the genocide. So no, you are a big deceiver and deceiving yourself. The world knows the truth, and the truth knows the world. The world knows the truth knows the world. The message knows his people. The message follow his people, and people follow the message, not messenger. Let's continue.
Timor in exile. The context. During the 24-year Indonesian occupation of East Timor,
this about what? Now on the East Timor. The context during the 24 years Indonesia occupation of the East Timor in 1975 to 1999.
1999, the resistance operated largely through a government-in-exile structure under the CNRT, National Council of Timorese Resistance.
Are you hearing it? These are also those that has internal problem. And what is said, that we are watching how they are going to handle the internal matters. Are they going to be champions? I told you, a friend of mine from America said that our problem is that we focus on internal matter and leave external. And I am very, very happy, like what our sister, Wanda Nenya said that the method of USB to abandon all the internal matter is very nice. That is what they don't have to. Even this so-called Ikenga, who is him that the PM has time to call his name? My people, honestly, if you know what you have, you don't have to panic. If you know what we have, you don't have to panic. Oh, you Mwambu, I give you good evening from here. Ben, Ken, where have you been? Yes. So, with what we are hearing today, are you still confused? Are you still calling for roundtable meeting for us to get Biafra? We can never do that. And it can never happen. The internal problem, you don't come, listen.
Internal problems, ideological clashes. The movement was originally split between different political parties, Fretil and UDT, which had even fought a brief civil war in 1975. Communication gaps.
Are you hearing it? The internal problem. The movement was originally split between, there was originally, after the declaration, split into different groups, like what we are seeing today. Look at what is happening here today. Look at what we are hearing from the East Timor and the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR. It has happened to them. And today, it is here happening. And instead of you to understand it, now it's also happening in the Palestinian when they're fighting their own. It happens also. The problem in your house, in your father's house, you are not in good terms with everybody. Don't deceive yourself. The cause of USB are declared. I will not. The internal problem, frustrated leadership, deep division exists between factions, notable Fatah and the Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the war in the West Bank and the Gaza. There is one that I want you to take from here. We are first treating the internal matter. That none of all these three that I mentioned here, that the internal matter stopped their case, and there's no one they said, lead down and said, I'm sorry. No. No. Administrative crisis. A subsection of the cooperation ahead the lack of national election has led to democracy, to Democrat protests and these factions. There is no way we are achieving Biafra without all these groups, without all this fracas, without all this division. They will be there. And when they are there, you are strong, proving how prepared you are. I remember on the day the sentence of told me about one of my brothers, I said, have you prepared yourself more than the way you are before? Because as we are drawing close to USB, we are declared. That is how also problems are drawing. More temptation are coming. I hope you are going to stand. I hope we never enter the purely internal matter, like when America entered into the internal matter in after the 1776, they went into internal matter. The internal matter clause bleeding everywhere at Chaparral. That is one thing I want you to understand. This East Timor is pure example today of those having problems, different groups. So the movement was originally split between different political parties. UTD, which had even forgot a brief of civil war in 1975. Please hit the like button, please hit the like button, please hit the like button, please. They have what? Internal problem. They have division. If these people in their past cannot do have division, it's easy that they're going to have it. But the most way you're supposed to have is that when you present yourself as a member of the USB with documents, it is very, very imperative at this time that we are into. We understand everything that is happening, so we can just relax and understand that this is the day, this is this one, this is this one. Everything will be okay. Also, the Palestinian people, what do? They form parties and start politics. That is what is happening here today. That's what's happening here. There is no amount of anything anybody will present anywhere that will supersede this Finland declaration. Go and check. It is nobody. Because we understand it, Papa and plain. And we understand that through all this is making me to be strong and what's more.
Leaders were scattered between the mountains of Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. International recognition. Despite these divisions, the international community, led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN, recognized the right of the exiled leadership to represent the people. This eventually led to a UN-sponsored referendum and full independence in 2002. Why does recognition continue despite
There's something I want to see. Their own is that they have second option of self-referendum. We said no to that. We have done our own. Over 50 million. The only thing we are producing now is we want to produce it only 10,000 ID card. Then we are good to go. We are what? Good to go. Despite this division, despite the division, the international community led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN recognized the right of the exile leadership that make a declaration, that made the declaration, respecting the people, representing the people. They eventually led to the UN sponsoring the freedom and the fully independency in 2002. What? 2002. Now, Jews say they have division. Does it stop them? The answer is no. Do you also see that the division did not do them anything? Rather, they were strong and move strong because you know what you are doing. When you know what you are doing and how it goes, you don't panic. That is how all these people know what they are looking for. And they never panicked. When they move away, they splitted. Where are they staying? This East Timor. East Timor was in exile. Look at it here. Leaders were scattered between the mountains of the Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. There is no way out. You see that when other people try to do what the fully legal document that is in our hand, try to do photocopy, the world will not turn their back at you and said, come on, carry the photocopy, come on here. We have original. You do not understand what we have. It is very important like that we all understand it and maintain the template of USB through the way we are looking for Biafra right now as a country.
Internal problems. International bodies often prioritize legal legitimacy over operational perfection. If a government in exile meets specific criteria, the world may ignore internal chaos. 1. The illegal occupation principle. If the territory was taken by force, the international community often maintains recognition of the exiled government to avoid rewarding the aggressor.
Are you hearing it? That the world will maintain the exiled government with a declaration document. You will never know what you have on this declaration document. That is why you are looking for 100 men and listen to them. They are all a bunch of criminals and useless at this stage. We don't need them. We only need USB that declared as the only that has the legal documents to prove that everything in between is a pure reality. And following the criteria of others that has been achieved before us, there is those that they have achieved this thing before us. That is why you're giving the examples. That is why example of countries that division never stopped for them to be a country today. And I can easily understand it that there is no way we will achieve Biafra without this division. That is it. If you achieve Biafra without division, or you want everything to be united, the law of the USB we are declared that are going, the punishments that are going to give those that did not believe, that fight against USB, how can they give it? And how can that law be effective? The law must be hold somebody, and that person hold must be suffer for it. Spain punish those that are betrayers. Spain punish their division people. America punish those that are division. France, Namibia, Algeria, Eritrea, South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya. Check the history background. You may understand it. Why are you panicking that there is a division? Division make me strong and stronger. I don't know about you. Mazili Vinity, good evening from here. You're welcome to our platform today. You know you always listen from background, but thank you so much. I see your comment. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we must continue.
2. Representative status. As long as the government...
No. Why does recognition continue despite internal problem? Why does the world internal problem never stop recognition? Have you asked about that? That is why I'm telling you, Ikenguru Agu Chibuze Egwatu is not the criteria that gives recognition. Rama is not criteria that gives recognition. All this shenanigan of convention of IPOB is not a way of recognition. It's not giving recognition at all. What is recognition? It is the international community, like what USB is following. But the number one thing is go and cry this peaceful declaration document, which is the signature, make it the most legal and effective one. That is where you channel your strength. The 100 men are scam. They have come to scam Biafran people. They also want Nigeria list. What do they can offer? I don't know those who are asking us and can stop this thing, you'll be free. And you are there. You will see, they make me to be strong to know that if my enemies want to destroy the good job, so we must continue. We must. Can you see? There is no country that achieved the recognition today, become who they are today. There was a day, there was a new country. There was a time they are seeking recognition. The internal matter never stopped them from achieving it because the internal matter is not criteria. The internal matter is not recognition. And I told you one word. Destiny can be delayed, can never be denied. Destiny can be delayed, but can never be denied. These areas I want you to be thinking, these areas you need to be looking into, these areas that matter so much. We focus on things that are useless. International bodies often patronized legal legitimacy over oppression performance. If you think you are oppressing USB, even if you are doing, even Nigerian government, even this Ikenga that they are arresting Biafrans, putting them in prison with all those what he call himself Udele, Chukwuka, and all of them. The word to call them what? Operational oppressor. That is, they can never do because of them stop recognition to the legitimate and the legal and legitimate way. That they choose the legal and legitimacy over oppressor. This is what the world choose. Are you the one who choose it? If the world can against all odds choose legal and legitimacy, who am I that I do not follow in that process? Why should I be afraid of all those who mokoko? A government in exile that make a specific criteria, that met a specific criteria, the world may never ignore them. Internal problem can never stop them. This is how they put the word. The world can never ignore them. Government in exile that has met the criteria, which I have counted to you in the beginning of this platform. Government population, defined territory, effectiveness of government, and capacity to sign agreement. These are the first, and others follows along. And the proving that you are with the authentic, with the legal legitimacy document of a peaceful declaration. You heard about SADR in Africa declaration is involved. You heard about Palestine. declaration is involved. You also heard about East Timor, declaration is involved. Declare, 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 declare. If you are never declare, you are making noise on social media. You are oppressor that can never see what we are doing. Recognition is not coming from the hands of oppressor. It is coming from those who love, those who want you to live as a country. Take it or you leave it. The illegal occupation principle. The illegal occupation principle. What does that mean? If the territory was taken by force, like Biafra, the international community often maintains recognition of the exile government to avoid rewarding the aggressors. Are you hearing it? A time is coming when the world will make it openly that they recognize USV they are declared, not Nigeria anymore, because Nigeria has failed those who believe in the Nigeria as a country. Is it not true? Please like and share the program as we are watching the program, please. Please. Number one, the international community often maintains recognition to the exile government that met the criteria, and USB has overmade the criteria. That is why at my back you see this green here. USB, United States of Biafra, is included in the world map. 2, representative status. As long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and the automatic representative, authority representative. The UN and other bodies may overlook internal dispute. They will overlook the internal problem and they grant recognition because they are not after internal, they are after external. That's why I told you that after our peaceful declaration or declaration, we have resist and transition into what? Into a government in exile. How will we have transitioned ourselves into? Can you see that n'okwu ndị Igbo na-emezu n'okwu nwere onwe a ndị be anyị si na adị na Igbo agụ osu ọ na-eme agụrụ ụmụ egbuo ha isi ka ha jee dozie obodo mee ka obodo dị mma, and adịghị adị na Igbo eme ka obodo dị mma. Oh, few individuals eme ka obodo dị mma. That is how it is. All this our ilu ndị Igbo ọfụziri chefuo ị na-echetazi na-adị ebi ya n'isi. It is the time for all of us to know the truth, and the truth will set us free. That is one of the most important things that we all have to do at this stage. Do you see why you must sign with USB are declared? This is the legal. The illegal is Iken Guru Ago. The illegal is Shamaka Ajere. The illegal is all these people. When you look at how others have achieved it, then you may see what our DPM is doing. That she is the one piloting their phase, like what happened in 2 countries, 3 countries, or more of that. That is why on this program today, you will see the effective of USB are declared. Because of USB are declared is why today we are in the map of the world. And when you go to that map, what you will see is United States of Biafra. And who is the piloting the affair of United States of Biafra? Who is that person? Dr. Muzo Rabez and all the cabinet members. Now, as long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of the people, the soul and the authentic representative, the UN and other bodies cannot pass by, cannot do because of internal matter of Ogenkere. the division master. The world, the international community see Ogenkere as what? As a division master. Because USB is strongest because we have the declaration documents with the over 500 signature of the people of Biafra. You see how and why we have become who we are today. Anybody who is against USB, we are declared. Go and check yourself. Diplomatic and the diplomatic movement. Issuing passports. Are you hearing it? ID card. Appointing ambassadors. Today, USB has appointed over 100 and something ambassadors, which I am included, in different countries in the world. Issue ID card, issue passports, and appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forum, even without a territory. Even without a territory. Hey, you declare Biafra, you claim your sovereignty, you are in exile. If Nigerian military is in here, is in here, is in here, is in here. The world doesn't look at that. Because that is why they call it what? Government in exile. That because of the power, the fire power of the country like Nigeria want to exile our people anyhow. They know that to come and take the country will be a problem. And that's why they told that you don't need to take charge of 101%, 2% before you can become a sovereignty. That once you declare the sovereignty, you have done what? You have become a sovereignty. The world will address you like that. In the due time of recognition, they will grant recognition. It doesn't matter how many territory you owe or how many territory you are controlling. No, it doesn't matter how many territory that you are controlling. What matters is that you have shown or proved that you are the legal and the legitimate government of the people that people are listening to. That is how the world sees everything. That is how the world look at what we are doing this time around. It's not about what I think. It's not about what I feel. It's not about what I know. But it is about how the world sees everything. Please, as you join us, I urge you to please endeavor to like and share. If you never do so, please like and share the program so others may join us as we proceed. Like, share is the main thing I want you to do for me. So save your money for your ID card. You are holding recognition. You. Issuing passports, ID card, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at the international forum, even without a territory, create a legal reality. It is hard to ignore such a government in exile that have made a peaceful declaration with the authentic and the legal documents. Key takeaway. Internal division or internal difficulties somehow affect government in exile, but it is recognition is determined by international law, treaties, compliance, and diplomatic support of power allies. It lies on the international community, not on any individual. And the ones who have given the world the external power to come and talk, they will come. That is where we are heading. So I will play it again so you can hear it.
Exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and authentic representative.
I don't know my brother Ekeneze. Is he close to us? And if anybody want to comment or enter the studio, please, if you drop link, if I see that people have time to talk, then I will drop the link so they can join. But if nobody on the comment section prove that he want to join, after playing the audio and repeat it again, I will close the program. I prefer to put link for Biafrans to come and explain within their mind, for you to know that all these things will not stop. Yes, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The UN and other bodies may overlook internal disputes. 3. Diplomatic persistence. Issuing passports, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forums, even without a territory, creates a legal reality that is hard to ignore. Key takeaway. Internal defects usually affect the government's efficiency, but its recognition is determined by international law, treaty compliance, and the diplomatic support of powerful allies. Are you looking for how a specific organization can manage its image to ensure recognition remains stable even when things are difficult at home?
I will play it from the beginning to the end. Then one section. Tomorrow, we are going to go on the second section.
Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic feat. History shows that internal problems, such as leadership disputes, lack of physical control, or public dissatisfaction, do not always stop the international community from granting or maintaining recognition, especially if the cause is seen as legally or morally just. Here are a few notable examples of government in exile, or organizations acting as such, that faced internal turmoil but still secured or held on to international recognition. 1. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR. The context. After Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the Polisario Front declared the SADR. Since 1976, it has operated largely as a government in exile, based in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The internal problems. Territorial control. It only controls about 20% of the land it claims. The rest is under Moroccan administration. Governance hurdles. Living in refugee camps for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. International recognition. Despite having no capital city on its own soil, the SADR is a full member of the African Union (AU) and is recognized by over 40 countries. Its status as a state in waiting remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. 2. The State of Palestine, PLO Palestinian Authority. The context. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, acted as a government in exile for decades before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, Algiers Declaration. The internal problems. Fractured leadership. Deep divisions exist between factions, notably Fatah and Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the West Bank and Gaza. Administrative crisis. Accusations of corruption and the lack of national elections have led to domestic protests and dissatisfaction. International recognition. These internal splits have not stopped the United Nations from granting it non-member observer state status in 2012. Today, over 130 UN member states recognize the State of Palestine, proving that internal administrative defects do not necessarily negate legal standing. 3. The CNRT. The context.
Please mute your
During the
mic. Mute your
24-year
mic.
Indonesian occupation of East Timor, 1975 to 1999, the resistance operated largely through a government in exile structure under the CNRT, National Council of Timorese Resistance. The internal problems. Ideological clashes. The movement was originally split between different political parties, Fretilin UDT, which had even fought a brief civil war in 1975. Communication gaps. Leaders were scattered between the mountains of Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. International recognition. Despite these divisions, the international community, led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN, recognized the right of the exiled leadership to represent the people. This eventually led to a UN-sponsored referendum and full independence in 2002. Why does recognition continue despite internal problems? International bodies often prioritize legal legitimacy over operational perfection. If a government in exile meets specific criteria, the world may ignore internal chaos. 1. The illegal occupation principle. If the territory was taken by force, the international community often maintains recognition of the exiled government to avoid rewarding the aggressor. 2. Representative status. As long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and authentic representative, The UN and other bodies may overlook internal disputes. 3. Diplomatic persistence. Issuing passports, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forums, even without a territory, creates a legal reality that is hard to ignore. Key takeaway. Internal defects usually affect the government's efficiency, but its recognition is determined by international law, treaty compliance, and the diplomatic support of powerful allies. Are you looking for how a specific organization can manage its image to ensure recognition remains stable even when things are difficult at home?
Yes, I will give you the mic. I will give those on the stage, on the studio, the mic first. I have give you example of 3 countries that their internal matter or what we are passing to today did not stop from them to become a country. Today, the international community, as they made the criteria, recognize them. So let's start with our brother Ekeneze. If your mic is available and you can talk, because network is disturbing from Bongo area. So please, can you go on, my brother Ekene? Are you here? Network. He's still here. The network is the network. This one is no longer on. Yeah, go on, my brother. Go on. Yeah, Ekeneze. Go on, my brother.
Bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Network is bad. Network is bad. Yeah, somehow. Can you hear me?
loud and clear. Go on.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go on. Network.
I don't know. Network is bad. I don't know.
We are hearing you. We are hearing you. Go on. We are hearing you.
Okay, let me.
Network. The network is disturbing. So let's continue until they join us back, if the network allows them to join us. What we are doing this evening is for people to understand that there is no amount of internal problem. Go on, Ekenez.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, okay. Yeah. God bless you. The manage the nature of the network here. I will see time and best to speak. I greet everybody in the house. I greet those on the studio. I greet everybody. Man, Richino, God bless you, my brother. I want to thank your it touches some things open now. I don't know if you're hearing me because of the network is bad, but if you're hearing me, fine.
Just go on. We are hearing you. Go on.
Okay. Now, all the people before maybe on this program, the most important thing is to protect people. And let's go to the Bible and what the Bible says. Peace is the most important thing. If you live whereby, it's very, very, very understandable. We understand it very well. But don't want to each other. It is one question. Are you still hearing me, sir?
Yes, go on. Ask me. I'm hearing.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I
Go
can't
on.
hear you.
It's your network. Me, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, let me go out and come back if I can get network.
Yes, Wada. Ogona, are you there? Wada Ogona, yeah, please unmute and have the mic. Wada, unmute and have the mic. Can I unmute and have the mic? We can't hear. We can't hear you. Unmute. Unmute.
I have unmuted.
Yes. Now, okay. Go on now.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to commend you on this topic that you are teaching now. At least this topic will give peace to our people, because when you don't know something, you don't know. But with what you're teaching now, the peace will gradually return to the hearts of our people, knowing fully well that whatever that is happening around the USB redeclared cannot stop recognition. Because people often ask that question. But now, with what you are dishing out and what other people have gone through and what they have seen, still, they were still recognized. That shows that the redeclaration of Biafra is a done deal, that nothing can stop it anymore. It has come to stay, it has come to stay. The document is there, the proof, the evidence, the grievances, they are all compiled, and they are in the table of different world power. And also, I want to talk about the people that said 100 men. I want to ask a question. These 100 men, are the 100 men to start agitation again? Or the 100 men to come and redeclare the Biafra that already been declared? Or 100 men to bring out Mazi from the prison? I do not understand the meaning of their 100 men. What I think they should have done is that, since everybody is fighting one goal, since they have realized now, according to I've forgotten the name of that one, that is they are making their confession, since they have realized that they have done evil and they have inflicted injury on their people, and they deem it fit to confess and turn back. What I think they would have done is, okay, now we were not there and these people has gotten so far. Where are we going to stand to be able to support what is already on the ground? That
Exactly.
is what, if there are people that think wise, that actually want peace and actually want this thing that everybody is looking for, that is, you don't even need to come to USB. Nobody say you should come, but in your own little quarter, you'll be contributing. That your contribution will be supporting what the government is doing. Rather, they are calling for 100 men. They've forgotten that it's not before the people of Biafra were naive, they don't know what is happening. Now everybody has wisen up. Now everybody has known what happened in the time past. And the people, even the most daft person among us, have now understood who each and every one of them are. So calling for 100 men is not the solution. Calling for 100 men cannot bring out Nnamdi Kanu. Rather, it is government that will bring out Nnamdi Kanu. Calling for 100 men cannot stop the military invading our land. Rather, it is government that will stop the military invading our land and killing our people. So I thought that they are wise, but I found out that many of them are making mockery of themselves. I overheard him saying, he called for 100 men. Okay, this 100 men, according to him, he says for peace. What kind of peace are you keeping? Sure that who didn't buy them to come and cause confusion. That is another thing. And I trust our government, that our government can never absorb those kind of people among them. If they want to call for their 100 men, they should go ahead calling for their 100 men and do whatever they want to do. All I know is this: Biafra can never be redeclared again. It has already been declared, and the paper is in the world table. So I want to encourage our DPM. She is doing a marvelous work. There was a man, is it Okute Daily Talk, was analyzing the achievement of our DPM. It is mind-blowing. And those people that are sabotaging are saying, what has she achieved? What is it that he has done? This and that she has done, this and that and that. But when that man was taking time, analyzing, pointing it one after the other, he found out that this woman has finished the work. This woman and the cabinet, they have finished the work. It's now left to us to recognize ourselves and help for what he has done, so that everybody will be home and dry. And I like what you said by saying that no matter what they do, no matter what they castigate, it can never stop our recognition. And that is where we stand. USB will move, and USB will live forever. Now, our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he is there. He is there languishing. None of them is talking about him. Rather, they are castigating him, saying all sorts of things. But I know, by the help of government, and I know government is pushing harder, very soon Mazi will come out and will give glory to God. And also very soon, Mazi Samuel Ekpa will also come out and will also give glory to God. Thank you, sir. That is my submission.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mwada. I appreciate you are coming in all the way from all the way from the zoo country. Thank you so much. Yes, what we are trying to let everyone know is very simple. Not that I know that I am praying for division, no. But I find out that through 3 or 2, I have checked 1, 2, 3, which I have played out here. They all have internal division. But the issue is this, that the internal division did not stop recognition. And also now give me the morale that there is no amount of internal division that we are facing through today that will stop recognition. Rather, sometimes it might delay it for a while. But in this world, they say that it's better that to being delayed is not being denied. And if you look at what USB is doing, sometimes when I would say, let us go to USB achievement. When I play all the USB achievement and check others, nothing. And you will see somebody who leave all these things. Another thing he can do is to come and call our DPM name, or how to come and cascade USB, or how to talk down on what we are doing. Number one is that the highest achievement at this stage is that if you are not with USB declared original, legal, legitimate government document, you are just making noise. That is also proof that you never believed in the words from Mark Simon, who said that without this declaration, that all we are doing is making noise. And you that today is against USB declared, who is fighting against our DPM is doing. So it simply means that you want to continuously making the noise. That Obato Obie told us that we should stop making noise until we met our peaceful declaration. That is the only time that we are on a serious note. And the world, they call it what? Transition. At the time we come, when we will transition from a protester on the street, the government in exile, from government in exile, the peaceful declaration. From this declaration, you now have the documents, the right to request for the world to talk about Biafra. Now, when you are doing this, others have gone through that process. If you look at the 3 countries I mentioned here today that existing country, East Timor, they said declaration, document. SADR, declaration document. Palestina, declaration document. Where is your own declaration document? You that is claiming that you are the one fighting for Biafra. You don't have anyone at hand. And nothing for you to offer. And you are claiming you are fighting for Biafra.
No,
and from the perspective or from the history, I can count on you over 100 peaceful declaration after fighting with under a military conflict. They stop. They go into declaration. Everything is about declaration. Either you declare or you call it pronunciation or proclamation. Any one of these three you did, you still remain on the side of the on the UN and what the world is looking for. And you can have it clearly here that when the international community decided to recognize any of these countries, they did not look at the internal matter. They didn't look at their division. What do they look? They look at who among these people are having the legal legitimacy and the legal document of declaration, which is what we are looking for. Now, when the world look at it, they said, we recognize the one with the legal document. The legal document must come with date. The legal document will come with signature. If you claim that Biafra was declared December 2nd, where is the signature of those who signed it for you and you don't have them?
That is it. That is where they are fooling themselves.
Where is that document you will submit? Because a document without signature is fake and forgery.
Yes.
But anything that has a legal document of up to 500 and proving the legal right and the legitimacy or the legitimacy of the people. If only 56 signature makes America to become a country today, why can't you think about USB with over 500 signature? You that are championing, you are fighting for Biafra, and you are never made a peaceful declaration, or you did not believe in this declaration, when are you going to declare your own? Because it simply means you who is trying to enter primary school will finish. Someone who is secondary school has come out and enter university.
That is it.
So you that are following BGC, you are starting afresh from the square root, from the grassroots, from square one. That is where you are starting from. While something that you are starting from square one, or you want to start afresh, that people has got to the final end of it. Are you not deceiving yourself? It's also in the comment example. You're gone.
It's a deceit.
So, yes, you that are falling for BGC and all these groups today, is that you went to a job from your house as we are coming back. There is already made soup already, and there is a bar or semolina or fufu somewhere for you to eat, and there's already a goosey soup or okra or whatever that is in the house. And the only thing you have to do is to remove your clothes, go to kitchen, dish out the food. And you said, no, I can't eat this food, though. I did not believe on this food, though. The person that cook this food have a good intention. And for that reason, let me go to market. And what am I going to buy? Now, you start thinking how you will buy. First, you start thinking of how you will leave your house after you have exhausted from the job. Then you happen to go back to you start thinking, now go to market, I'm tired, though. Then you will try, okay, let me try and go to market. Then you now go to market, you start buying, and I need
right, you're supposed to have eaten and rest.
And why that? You could have eat and the rest, you said, no, I want to buy Maggi, 50 naira, I want to buy pepper, I want to buy onion, I want to. After you buy and come back, they will now start cooking. I want to ask you, before you will stress yourself and finish your cooking, The people that have already eaten the already made that is in the house have rest and forgot they have eaten. And you are position. That is where you are. You are BGTO. That is where you are. You are PIP organization. That is where you are. You are Masol. And all these dudes are making noise today. That is where you belong. USB has graduated from university.
They have already finished the race. We are the last lap.
What we are looking for, we are only looking for a job to start feeding our
Yes.
family. What is the job that
Yes.
US is looking? US is only looking just a job recognition for us to go back in our
Yeah.
take our territory. They also told us here today that even Timor-Leste did not control 1% of their territory until the achieve recognition. They also proved to us that SADRs in Africa that got their own from Morocco, that there was in exile in Nigeria for 50 years and have their government, that they never come back home until they get what recognition and take over their territory. Whatever you think that we are doing today, without this, the signature that was signed on that particular day of November 2024, if any document you are having today does not bears it, and you cannot produce the names of those who sign it, believe you me, why are you disturbing people? Why deceiving people? And why people that are following you and more like you? Well, the issue is this: there is no way you have a new country, having a division. All these things is what they called division, that they said that it could never stop their recognition once the government is on the legitimate and legitimacy, the legal aspect of it, that nobody will stop the government. That is one thing we must understand this day we are into, that with only USB we are declared is the only option you have. USB about to say
That's it.
And you must understand that at this stage we are into, that there is only one way out. The only one way out is what? It's only USB. That you can use anywhere you are in the world, USB document to achieve any asylum. Without this, you are not going anywhere, my people.
That is it. And they are being accepted in every country they are. That is to tell you that we are at the right track. If you use your ID card and seek for asylum and they will accept it, meaning that you already recognized. You already recognized.
That is what they call
It's just
recognition in a little kind way until they come out and make it openly
yes.
to you.
Yeah.
That is the
It's just that our people should learn and understand. Na ihe ahụ a na-achọ n'uko elu na ahụ ya n'uko ala. And they should forget about all their differences and they support the government so that everybody will be home and dry. If they give you money and you collect the money, eat the money, but don't be fool. Because if you are fighting against your government, you are fighting against yourself. And at the end of the day, you will be held accountable because government is government. You'll be held accountable. Is it not better that even if you collect the money, you so much in need of the money and you collect the money, you eat the money, but when you are playing your card, you be wise in your card playing. Or rather, you refuse to collect the money at all and stand on the right track. There is something I heard they were saying that they want to
network. Why? Why network? Why now? Network. We can't hear you. Well, as we are waiting for network to bring her back or network to allow her, if anybody said he want to sue a DPM, please go on and sue her. Go on and sue USB declared, because that is when you will know that this government is not playing, go on and sue the government. Then you will know the weight of this. Go and try. Go and try and see USV declared. So for you to know how quality that November 29, 2024 declaration document is, please try and do that. Go and do it. And stop claiming what you cannot be able to do. Stop claiming what you cannot ever achieve in your entire life. When you see someone who has done it, instead of you to embrace and love the person, you are making mockery of yourself. I want to let you to know this evening that countries up to 1, 2, 3, after their declaration, they have division. They have problems here and there. But the goodness or the good news is that those divisions that never use their hand or their mouth to make that peaceful declaration has never succeeded. It's succeeded. It's only those that are being claiming, try to make noise, did not succeed. If after a peaceful declaration, you walk away from the government that made a declaration and do another different thing, sorry, the world will see you as a rebel. They know that the betrayers must be everywhere. That is what I want you to understand. So, my people, I just want to play the voice for the last time. After that, we are going off from the program because of my time. Stay tuned and listen again. You can record, you can cut, you can send people to hear it so they will know that your division will not stop recognition. You can never stop USV recognized from the international global community. When the due time come for our official international recognition, the world will do it at Western time. Listen to this.
In the world of international law, the relationship between internal division and external recognition is a high-stakes balancing act. To address your point, international recognition is rarely denied solely because of internal disagreements, but those divisions change the type of recognition a government receives. Here is the breakdown of how divisions affect a peaceful declaration and why the internal matters of opponents often fail to stop the process. 1. Does division stop recognition? Internal division usually cannot stop the legal right to declare statehood, but it can slow down the political willingness of other countries to acknowledge it. The sole representative rule, international bodies, like the UN or AU, look for a sole and authentic representative. If a government in exile is deeply divided into 2 or 3 competing factions, foreign nations may hesitate to grant recognition because they don't know who to sign treaties with. The survival of the legal claim. As long as the foundational declaration, like a Restoration Act or a continuity document, is legally sound, the claim to statehood remains alive even if the leadership is arguing. For example, the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, maintained their legal claim to independence for 50 years of occupation despite various internal political shifts in their exiled communities. 2. Recognition versus the internal matters of opponents. You hit on a crucial point. Established states often try to label a move for independence as a purely internal matter to prevent the world from getting involved. However, international law has shifted. Human rights override. Since the late 20th century, the international community has increasingly ruled that certain issues like self-determination and gross human rights violations are not internal matters. They are matters of international concern. The Kosovo precedent, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, famously noted that international law contains no prohibition of declarations of independence. This means that even if a parent state claims the declaration is an internal defect or a violation of their domestic law, that does not make the declaration illegal under international law. 3. How governments in exile overcome division. To ensure that internal problems do not stop recognition, successful governments in exile often use these 3 strategies. Strategy, purpose, result, legal continuity, linking a modern declaration to a historical one. Achieving international recognition for a government in exile after a peaceful declaration is a complex diplomatic feat. History shows that internal problems, such as leadership disputes, lack of physical control, or public dissatisfaction, do not always stop the international community from granting or maintaining recognition, especially if the cause is seen as legally or morally just. Here are a few notable examples of governments in exile or organizations acting as such, that faced internal turmoil but still secured or held on to international recognition. 1. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR. The context. After Spain withdrew from Western Sahara in 1975, the Polisario Front declared the SADR. Since 1976, it has operated largely as a government in exile, based in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The internal problems, territorial control. It only controls about 20% of the land it claims. The rest is under Moroccan administration. Governance hurdles. Living in refugee camps for nearly 50 years has created immense social and economic pressure on the population. International recognition. Despite having no capital city on its own soil, the SADR is a full member of the African Union, AU, and is recognized by over 40 countries. Its status as a state in waiting remains firm in many international eyes, despite its lack of effective control. 2. The State of Palestine, PLO, Palestinian Authority. The context. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, acted as a government in exile for decades before the 1988 Declaration of Independence, Algiers Declaration. The internal problems. Fractured leadership. Deep divisions exist between factions, notably Fatah and Hamas, leading to two separate administrations in the West Bank and Gaza. Administrative crisis. Accusations of corruption and the lack of national elections have led to domestic protests and dissatisfaction. International recognition. These internal splits have not stopped the United Nations from granting it non-member observer state status in 2012. Today, over 130 UN member states recognize the State of Palestine, proving that internal administrative defects do not necessarily negate legal standing. 3. The CNRT, East Timor in exile. The context. During the 24-year Indonesian occupation of East Timor, 1975 to 1999, the resistance operated largely through a government-in-exile structure under the CNRT, National Council of Timorese Resistance. The internal problems. Ideological clashes. The movement was originally split between different political parties, Fretilin UDT, which had even fought a brief civil war in 1975. Communication gaps. Leaders were scattered between the mountains of Timor, Portugal, and Australia, making unified governance nearly impossible. International recognition. Despite these divisions, the international community, led by the Lusophone world and eventually the UN, recognized the right of the exiled leadership to represent the people. This eventually led to a UN-sponsored referendum and full independence in 2002. Why does recognition continue despite internal problems? International bodies often prioritize legal legitimacy over operational perfection. If a government in exile meets specific criteria, the world may ignore internal chaos. 1. The illegal occupation principle. If the territory was taken by force, the international community often maintains recognition of the exiled government to avoid rewarding the aggressor. 2. Representative status. As long as the government in exile is seen as the legitimate voice of its people, the sole and authentic representative, the UN and other bodies may overlook internal disputes. 3. Diplomatic persistence. Issuing passports, appointing ambassadors, and maintaining a presence at international forums, even without a territory, creates a legal reality that is hard to ignore. Key takeaway. Internal defects usually affect a government's efficiency, but its recognition is determined by international law, treaty compliance, and the diplomatic support of powerful allies. Are you looking for how a specific organization can manage its image to ensure recognition remains stable even when things are difficult at home?
I hope you have witnessed and hear many places in Africa, government in exile, that the internal problem did not stop them to become a country, that the internal problem did not stop them from having recognition when it's due time for it. So I want you to know that USB declared is on the right track. So from my location, I will tell you good night until we come back again tomorrow. Thank you to you all as we are moving high with USB declared. One love, my people. Good night.